Let's see how long I can talk about filthy mice being sheltered by evil spirits without sounding like Hans Lander. The question of what is plaguing best standard right now is fairly self-evident if you play 2 to 3 games on ladder and have a functioning set of eyeballs. It's mice, specifically red mice, specifically one horrible little one drop that just snowballs and snowballs and snowballs and snowballs until it becomes a choice of whether you're going to die from it punching you in the face or it dying and kicking you in the teeth on the way out. Now, it can be easy to look at the combination of this and Manifold Mouse and just see those two cards as the problem. Maybe we need to ban the mouse, maybe we need to ban the Manifold. No, here's the thing. Mono red mice is not really relevant. The most powerful part of mono red as a deck is actually Screaming Nemesis, because you can run that into a shield red and it will deal more damage if it's blocked than if it's not, which is the opposite of how interactive Magic is supposed to work. No, mice are powerful in the Boros Auras variant, which, again, let's be clear here. If you've been playing much of ladder, you know what I'm talking about, and you know this to be true. The deck even makes it relatively clear itself. I mean, we've got a 1-drop Shard Mage's Rescue, which is a combat trick for saving your mice that depicts a mouse being saved. Yes, I know Nashi is probably a rat. I don't care. The fact of the matter is, it's being used almost exclusively on mouse creatures, and there's a rodent in the art. Now, why am I having this conversation? I'm having this conversation to set the record straight on what is the important part of the deck. And the important part of the deck is not the mice. It is Sheltered by Ghosts. And if you've played a large amount of standard ladder, then you're gonna have some understanding of what I'm talking about here. Because, sure, the mice are the threat. Sheltered with Ghosts is the thing that stops any form of meaningful counterplay against the Auras deck. And it does this in realistically every possible feasible way. Now, we'll start with the obvious factor that is, it is a 2-mana Oblivion Ring effect, which, that's just incredible. This is Journey to Nowhere levels of absolutely wonderful. The fact that you have to put it on a creature is, it would be workable in a control deck. You would just play a control deck that wants to have, Venwixt in play so that you can draw additional cards. But then, additionally, Sheltered by Ghosts, for, obvious reasons, gives the creature that it's on ward. And so, what happens is you start giving the creatures that you already want to keep on the battlefield ward, and you've got 2 upsides on this 2-mana Oblivion Ring card. Which, again, all of this would be good and completely standard playable just as it is. The mice deck wants to trigger its heroic style effects. It wants to have auras targeting its mice to make the mice bigger to draw additional cards. The kicker for Sheltered by Ghosts is that it gives the target lifelink. You're already incentivized to put it on your largest creature. You're already incentivized to put it on something that wants ward anyway. Now, it's going to start swinging life totals. Something I found hilarious, though, is that when you're playing on high ladder, the lifelink is less relevant than it might otherwise be. The games tend to be decided by, did you open your hand that instantly killed the opponent? Was your opponent playing a deck that hard counters you? Whatever. At high ladder, you don't play a single game. You play 10 games all at once and you take the win rate from those 10 games. That's the difference between ladder and best of 3 standard. Now, the real point at which the lifelink on Sheltered by Ghosts matters is in fair Magic. In low ladder, you can remove somebody's creature, and it doesn't super matter because they aren't playing single creatures that are game-definingly powerful like Shieldred. They might be playing elves, and you remove one of their 3 elves, and oh no, you've gone 1-for-1 in a card that could feasibly in the future be removed. No, the really important thing here is that Lifelink is powerful in fair magic. You can build a deck that's green value, or any number of colors tribal, and attempt to make some sort of regular progress, but you're not going to get anywhere if your opponent can top deck a card that protects their main threat, removes one of your cards, and massively swings the life total, all in a single card for 2 mana. Now, it is important to note here that there's not a lot of discussion around Sheltered by Ghosts because there's counterplay. You can bounce the Sheltered by Ghosts, you can Sheltered by Ghosts the Sheltered by Ghosts because it puts ward on the creature instead of on it and the creature, thank God. Or you can use the incredible Duskmourn card, Nowhere to Run, to just turn off ward and hexproof abilities. But the real problem with this outcome is that when you have something that's incredibly powerful and it demands an answer, that can be a healthy metagame. It's not a healthy metagame when there is only one answer, and all gameplay is stratified into, are you playing the threat or are you playing the answer? And all expressions of deck building, of all sorts of play, are centered entirely in, are you playing these two decks? What you really want to do is have a powerful thing that gets countered by multiple things, or answers that answer a range of options. You've got aggro, you've got control, you've got like, you've got subscribe, you've got mid-range, you've got combo. That's how you get a nice round field. You can see what I'm talking about here. This is 2 separate arcs that sort of counterbalance each other, as opposed to boom, boom. This is bad. And the real problem here is Sheltered by Ghosts, Nowhere to Run. These 2 cards are a problem. I actually think Nowhere to Run could be a card that warrants discussion in the future. But most of what makes Nowhere to Run powerful is the rest of the deck that it goes into, especially This Town Ain't Big Enough. Sheltered by Ghosts is what makes Nowhere to Run such an incredibly important answer tool. This is what you need to remove. You remove this, suddenly the mice are responsive to normal interaction.